See, do you really think that America, led by Trump, with all its research team and paraphernalia, didn't know what they were doing when they ambushed the South African president with fake photos and fake videos of the genocide of white farmers in South Africa? I laugh at you. They know what they were doing. It was deliberate in terms of knocking South African governments into position. Remember, South Africa has been in the neck of Israel. In fact, we know because of the history of South Africa, the apartheid, and the issues of human rights that happen in South Africa. South Africa is still reeling in that space. So when South Africa sees other countries bullying other nations, they tend to take it to heart, and given their history, they wouldn't look the other way around, no matter who you are. So South Africa, we all know, took this Israel to the Hagues. And so Donald Trump needed to knock South Africa back in line. So what they do is to say to them that you guys are killing white farmers, knowing where they are headed. So throw away their ambassador, withdraw their aids, program, and even cut them off in terms of relationship, increase tariffs, and endeavor to make sure that you bring South African president down here. And somehow he's going to come begging. After all, we are Africans. We're all around. We're all about begging, beggars. Now, what they wanted to achieve has been achieved. The idea is that it was a grand plan to lie to the world that there are genocide of white South Africans, or whites in South Africa, or persecution of whites. They're taking white lands and all of those things. Do that and make it seem like they are wrong in what they are doing. But beneath, the idea is letting them know that, look, our friends, Israel, we don't want you to continue with your genocide. We don't want to hear anything about that Israel is committing war crimes in Gaza. Don't say it again. You get the maths. So that is the import of the reasons why that so-called ambush happened. It's not because there were genocide of whites in South Africa. And if, as a matter of fact, there hasn't been any genocidal move by South Africa against the whites. There hasn't been any forceful taking or forceful withdrawal of lands from whites. In any case, if truly as South Africa was against any white, this guy wouldn't have had whites as his cabinet members. Yes, there are criminality in South Africa. Yes, there are issues with security in South Africa. And even in the proportion of deaths, you cannot say there are more white farmers who have died than black farmers. It's criminality. Call it what it is. If somebody dies as a result of criminality, you can't say, oh, because the person who died is white, then it is genocidal. If the person who dies is black, then it's normal. Of course not. We're all playing under the same government, under the same insecurity situation. So if somebody dies, hold the person who have killed somebody accountable for the person who has died. Not saying because a white dies, you now say, oh, it's white genocide. So it's shocking to me because I'm thinking, are we not living in this world? Is everyone not living in this world? Like, what's going on? Like, this person is a world leader, deliberately lying to the world that a country is committing genocide against whites. It's not like, are you kidding me? And the president was there looking like stunned, like, you, like how? How much of this fake news do you think these guys don't know what they're doing? They know what they're doing. They don't even mind going as far as bringing pictures and videos from Congo to show the world that this is what's going on, in order to knock South Africa back in line. Look at what they have achieved. They have told they will tell South Africa behind the back, don't talk to Israel like that anymore. If you talk to Israel like that, this is what can happen to you. So they'll reinstate the ambassador, reinstate their aides, everything good and fine. And remember that this thing, why do you think that Elon Musk did not say a word all the time that South African president was there? Why do you think Elon Musk did not say a word? He was the one that even started this whole thing, the white genocide thing. He was the one that started it. He never said a word because he knew it was false. He put out that because he wanted to make an inroad into South Africa, whether through business and through his companies, through other things. So he needed to, and Elon Musk and Netanyahu are also like this. So they needed to knock South Africa back in line, and that is the reason why that meeting happened. You tell me you're a white genocide in South Africa. Are you kidding me? How crazy can that lie ever be? And please just watch. I'm not saying I'm the best analyst on this issue. I'm not even saying that maybe I may have had a preview information about this. Don't even take my word for it, but just look at what's going to happen in the next few months. South Africa will stop talking about Israel's genocide in Gaza. You will never hear South Africa say a word about what's going on in Gaza anymore. That's part of the deal. If not, let Ramaphosa come out and deny that it's false, that they didn't tell them that they should stop talking about genocide in South Africa. I mean, genocide in Gaza. Let him come out and say it. Let him come out and deny it. Or let him go ahead and still make comments about it. And even if he's going to make comments this time, the tone is going to change completely, because they have told him, Oga, calm down. Calm down. But having said that, I really hate it when African leaders go cap in hand begging. I really hate it. I mean, if it was not because of business, economy, I mean, trust me, as soon as America pulled out its aids for South Africa, especially for that health program, HIV health program that US had, the drop for testing stopped. I mean, it dropped completely. It dropped drastically. It means that they're in trouble. The country is in trouble. It's going to go back to how devastating it was some years back. So they needed to do something quickly. And of course, USA is a huge ally when it comes to business trade. It's a huge ally with South Africa. So South Africa is about to lose all of those things. And they can afford to, not even at least now that the economy is really, hitting the rocks. So losing a trade partner as huge as the United States will be dealing them a huge blow. So they needed that strategic meeting more than anything else. So I'm sure that Cyril will be on his toe and like, okay, well, whatever you want, I can give it to you. Is it not? After all, I'm the only country, largely speaking, about this whole thing. So if this is what it takes to get all these things back, they'll do it. And tell them this is what Elon Musk wants. Give it to him. He wants to establish Starlink. He wants to establish Tesla. He wants to have an office in South Africa. He wants to have a free flow. He doesn't want a situation where when he comes to establish his business in South Africa, at least with the backing of the United States President, Donald Trump, at least in another 4 years, he wouldn't have any issue with the government. Come on. It's more than just that, man. It was deliberate, just to, paint it a certain way so that they can come to a conclusion. And then the conclusion will be that, they have, they have told the South African president that they're killing white people. No rubbish. My pain is the fact that African leaders are not waking up to the situation. We're still going to beg. South Africa is loaded with gold, with unbelievable amount of mineral resources. Much more. If it's scaled properly, it can be better. South Africa is the only country on the African continent that can be touted to be the country with the best infrastructure and can be called a developed nation, at least on the African continent. If there's any country in another 10 years that will be called developed in the African continent by what we are doing or what we're saying in terms of the standard, South Africa should be. So why does a Ramaphosa needs to travel all the way, hundreds of miles, to go and meet the United States Donald Trump to beg? Why? With all your resources, why don't you turn to another country? Whatever it is that they're giving you, let another country, and they would do it gladly. Because again, there are other countries that are averse to America's domination. There's China. There's Russia. These countries would do anything possible, to get inroads in places that the United States is failing. Well, you could say Russia might be in chaos because of the fact that they have spent a lot in warfare against Ukraine. What China? I don't know. I don't know. So it's almost seems as if there's no other option, so to speak. But if they dig deeper, I'm sure that African leaders can find ways to do these things themselves. Why do I have to go and beg someone to be doing business with me when I'm actually the bride? The African continent is actually the bride of this whole world. It is unfortunate that our leaders haven't been able to tap into our potential. That is the reason why we still go out begging. What is difficult is scaling our infrastructure to the point of development that these guys will be the ones to coming here to beg. In any case, most of the resources that we have on the African continent are actually what is feeding Europe and America. Look, I keep saying this. Look at what's going on in Burkina Faso with Traore. That guy, just within a short period of time, you could say, "Oh well, human human freedom is limited to some extent." But look at what he has done developmentally since France left them. Just look at what he has been able to achieve within a short period of time. It shows that we are the problem of this continent. The leaders of this continent are the problems of this continent. Until we start thinking inwards, until we start thinking about developing our people and our nation, nothing is going to change. We'll still keep doing this nonsense, going to America to beg. What the heck? Beg them for what? Anyways, I don't know. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear from you as always. God bless.